This is getting ridiculous. You're about to see what I mean. First, let's show the opening move from Mango Chutneyson, world number 1. His opponent, always Sina Movahed, just a kid, and playing the kid, that's the King's Indian defense, is Sina Movahed from Iran. He's a teenager, and this is the final round of Title Tuesday, 2nd of December. This decided the entire tournament. Let's check out this cracker. Online chess from the best grandmasters in the world. Now we see Magnus develop the bishop, and he's going down an absolute main line here. Main move for black is this, but Magnus runs into bishop g4. Sina going for a side quest here. So he pushes through the center, creates that overpowered camel toe pawn structure. a5 secures c5 for the seahorse, and now we see the bishop develop. Magnus whispers, stack my bishop. Of course he does. By the way, working on some merch designs right now, which are just incredible. I love them. Stack my bishop is one of them. Rook rolled, pawn to c ships, the sniper, all that fun stuff. It's on the way soon. Here comes the pony, knight hopping back, and you could now swap the bishops. But I love the ambition of Sina. Keep all the pieces on the board. Very often as well, this one participates in an attack. Every good King's Indian player knows. Magnus keeps going on the queen side, and bang, pawn h5. I mean, so often you leave that one for the time being, run with the f-pawn, but this is modern chess. h3 from Magnus, takes control of g4, stops it becoming a thorn pawn, and now we see the knight dropping back. Dad's absolutely ashamed. What are you doing back here? Go and get a job. But after rook b1, the point is revealed. Kingside expansion. Let's trap and win this bishop. So Magnus takes and fights back with pawn to f4. And although it looks impressive for black, you do have a bit of a pawn structure problem. Taking is actually best. But Sina plays this pawn on to save it, and Magnus should now take here. Not played, but it's instructive. You bounce the knight around. Let's say you want to keep that bishop, and now there's this queen e1 idea, and it's so hard to defend that pawn without getting super clumsy with the pieces. Knight looks a bit funky. This one's also on the stinky edge of the board, but not understood by Magnus. He just brings the knight round immediately. Sina should now take. He doesn't do it. Again, best for Magnus to take. If black sets up the big pawn center, there's this really nice d6 idea. Only a temporary pawn sacrifice. You soon win back. All of it missed. Magnus develops, and now Movahed comes through the center, discombobulating that knight, and it's absolutely game on. Both players have some space, both have plans. We see this pawn go to Clamptown, preparing to bring this one around. Sometimes you've got to fight for your knight to party. Magnus tucks the king in here, and I absolutely love this next move. Rook f6. Sina whispers, do you even rook cliff, bro? Also coming to the merch soon. He's swinging it around as Magnus goes for this kingside expansion, and I find it so instructive that Magnus now wants to play on the king side. You normally play on the queen side. This is how you think like a grandmaster. Absolute last shout out, by the way. Then I'm done with it. It's Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Remote Chess Academy, link in the description. The very last 24 hours to get these incredible discounts. Those courses will teach you how to think like a grandmaster. They're written and presented by a grandmaster, Igor Smirnov. Get that road to 2000, get it done this year, finally make the breakthrough. So many other options too. Link below, they're incredible. Magnus to play here, and he goes bishop h5. Didn't yet push with any g4 stuff. You don't want to run into en passant. That's also coming on the merch. Rook's going to move, but where to? g3. It's a very powerful move. If you dare to kick the rook out like this, it smashes down on the d3 square. Game on, black killing it. Piece about to drop. And if you try and go knight e2 immediately, Well, it could start getting clumsy for your bishop retreat. So Magnus drops back with that sniper immediately. Now we see this one hit the c5 square. This knight rotates back, rook backing up here, and pawn g3. Magnus breaking out, but it actually gives black the opportunity for this shot. Bishop takes on d4. Now, it's a very counterintuitive idea, giving up that great bishop, but bang, this is the really cool point. You're about to bring the second rook, and you do it by sticking the king here. Obviously, it can't run to h8. So even though this is so powerful, you've got these amazing attacking ideas, possibly queen joining, okay, not here, but here, let's say. Really cool idea, but missed. King h8 was played, and now it switches back to Magnus because he connects the rooks, covers d3 with this bishop. Rook g8's now on the board, but this guy stands in the way, and now if you take, well, you recapture with check. It's all very different when the king's not on f7. We see takes on h4, opening the file to share in the spoils. Now we see queen takes on h4. It is scary, but how would you bring this guy into the attack? Knight g3 from Magnus, hitting the sensitive pawn here. Rook f8 covering, not ideal. You want to attack, but you just have to cover the base of the chain. Queen e2, not the most precise, but this is blitz chess. Bishop h6 played, going for the pawn here, and Magnus steps back, covers a game. Not best. It allows rook f7. Very nice little defensive maneuver. Then not so easy for Magnus to keep making progress. But bishop g7 is played here. And this is a mistake, because Magnus can now play the powerful move queen g2. And you're lining up this battery, preparing to try and checkmate. And if you try and step back like this once more, well, bang, you can break through here. The rook is no longer really defending. You mate if you move that rook. And you don't have time for this stuff, or simply king h1. And the problems persist. You're threatening mate here. How do you cover? Not so easily. There's lots of white pieces in the attack now. So we see Sina go into the tank here and just find the most incredible fighting shot. Knight g5. Now the question mark just isn't fair. For a blitz game, this is absolutely the best move because you cannot take it. If you do, bam, you run into this powerful thrust. The pawns are so good now, stepping down the board, and all of the pieces just flow. Something like this, you get killed. It's an amazing attack. So you can't take that knight. Magnus instead rotates this one around. Bishop d1 was strongest, but he's threatening to take the piece. So bishop f6, great move. Queen can no longer take, or it's taken by the bishop. And if pawn takes, again there's check. And then this very powerful avalanche of pawns. Black's actually winning here. We'll pause the line, won't keep going, but you're in an absolute world of pain. Let's run back. Magnus didn't take. He played bishop f2, kicked back this queen, and now took the pawn. Absolutely correct judgment, because this time after check, the queen's been kicked back, the bishop's an extra defender of g3, and you can play this knight g3 move, blocking the check, hitting the queen, and that's why f4 is not possible, because now the knight's no longer pinned, queen drops off. Yes, you can go f3 check, but this, or even king takes is better apparently. Keep blockaded. And what's the material count? Like 2 pieces ahead, right? These ones. So we didn't see any of this stuff. We saw the queen take on g5, king h1, and what's so incredible about this position is it's roughly level. Despite the fact that black is an entire piece down, the king safety issue here, the pawns constricting the white pieces, the black pieces in the attack, you can actually play pawn c6, queen g6, some kind of waiting moves and say to white, okay, do something. But not played. rook to g8. And this is a decisive mistake. What's the winning shot? It's knight takes on f5. You could have gone with either knight there. This opens up the file, and although it looks like the queen was covering the square with the bishop, it actually isn't. Or you're taking a queen, right? This is just no good. You're winning with the white pieces. So we saw this, but now what to do? Knight jumped, Magnus just hopped, brought round the king here, and this is all she wrote. Magnus is a piece ahead, the black king gets active, but here we saw resigns, because yes, you can win a pawn, but Magnus could take here, for example, just munch the pawns, something like this. You're a piece ahead, there's no compensation. It's a completely lost game from this position here. Incredible battle, brave choice, King's Indian defense. Magnus takes it home, and this is ridiculous. Wins title Tuesday again, just dominating the standings in split 1, split 2. They're vying for the overall esports World Cup and all that other stuff. I lose track. He's incredible. What a tournament. Have a look at the video on screen if you want to see another incredible game of chess. And don't forget RCA in the description. Last Chance Saloon. Thanks a lot. Cheers.